Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 2 more matches in store for you today here at DreamHack Atlanta. It's been an exciting day of Rocket League, tumultuous day. Had so many crazy things have happened. It's hard to keep track of it, but some great matches in store for these last 2. We'll get to see G2 and Genesis at the end of the day, but before that, Hollywood Hammers and the Muffin Men, 2 of our favorite squads here coming into today. It's going to be those 2 facing off. Best of 3s both the ways. See if we can get a game 3. I am counting on a game 3. I believe we can get a game 3 before the end of the day.
I mean, honestly, best of 3s with the quality and these last 2 matchups we have ahead of us, these games could go either way, really. I'm expecting at least one of these 2 to go to that game 3.
I would be so surprised if Genesis and G2 don't, but here with Hollywood Hammers versus the Muffin Men, I believe it's possible. Achieves Fickle, thoughts about this matchup? Will we get a game 3 finally?
I mean, you certainly have the potential there for it. Torment back at the X Games playing with Dapper and Miho. He was part of 70% of the goals, so I'm looking for Torment to continue having a little bit of that momentum.
So. You want to talk about a surprise team. That selfless roster at the X Games, knocking out Flipside Tactics and G2. Fantastic play. Yeah, after losing originally and going, they went to game 5 against NRG, didn't they? And they went to games. No. They got swept in the first round by Flipside, I believe. But then they went to game 7 against NRG on day 2. Day 3 of the 3-day. The last day, whichever the last one was. My goodness, the Torment was very, very impressive. So I'm excited to see how they play. But the Muffin Men are a crowd favorite, and not for lack of reason either. These guys are all very deadly players.
Right, Torment especially, we mentioned him on that selfless roster. He is an incredible player. He fills up holes on any team he plays on. He seems to do such a good job of just being that backbone to the team, the foundation. He knows when there's defensive holes. He knows when he needs to move forward on offense. Just a very, very well-rounded player. And teaming him up with Squishy Muffin. So, wow, these guys are an incredible duo. They're part of that Iris roster that had a surprise crashing and burning.
Yeah, they kind of just all fell apart there.
Right. And so you mentioned how, they had an unsatisfactory performance in the RLCS qualifiers for Season 3. So I think the story of this game, will the Muffin Boys become Muffin Men? As it is, their proving ground, really, because they didn't get the chance in Season 3.
They already are Muffin Men.
They call themselves the Muffin Men, at least. We'll see. We'll see if they live up to the name. How about that? We'll go with it. And Hollywood Hammers, formerly Take 3, a team that has had fantastic success in Season 2 of RLCS, coming top 4 in the nation, or in the world, being the best performing team at LAN from North America. But they've struggled a bit since then. One important thing to note, though, I think both of these teams tied for 3rd in the Brisk Summer Series of North America, so a bit of an even matchup. Hopefully we'll get a game 3 here as well, but I do feel like, at least on paper, Muffin Men have the clear advantage right now.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Something that we haven't seen from this Muffin Men roster is the addition of Gimmick as the 3rd to Squishy and Torment.
He's played with them a lot.
He's played with them a lot, but I'm saying that we haven't really got to see him perform in the LAN environment.
Yes.
Or, I mean, he's just not as... Their roster doesn't have as much longevity or history, I should say, as the Take 3 roster now, Hollywood Hammers.
Yeah. I definitely have to agree with that. I mean, Gimmick's played with Torment and Squishy for a couple of months now. They've won plenty of Astros together. Gimmick has definitely proven himself to be a capable online player. And like you said, Quinn, it definitely comes down to his ability to perform at that same level at the LAN environment. But the Hollywood Hammers, Zane, Jackie, Vince, Chrome, plenty of LAN experience around there, and Chrome's a shark. He will go hunt you down and blow you up.
And thoughts about this? I want to get your thoughts on this, Fickle. We've seen Hollywood Hammers play a lot with Espeon in the past, and then in the Brisk Summer Series they sub in Chrome instead. Espeon actually ended up coming and talking to us on the Brisk Summer Series, but Chrome they come in 3rd there. Haven't really seen them perform since. Thoughts about the substitution of Espeon for Chrome?
It's 2 really, really different players. Espeon, kind of known for being an aerial prowess, always up in the air with his really good mechanics, and Chrome being a really grounded player and really focused on demos. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, whether this roster is going to mesh together, because I think we've only seen one performance from them in the Brisk Summer Series, like you mentioned. They did pretty okay, but they didn't win, and nothing really stood out. And back when Chrome was even on Genesis, his main role of that roster was to be bumping, be that aggressive force up on the front field.
Thoughts from you as a former teammate of Espion's as well, and as someone who's familiar with the scene here, Quinn. Thoughts about Chrome replacing Espion here on Hollywood Hammers?
Well, I do want to say, first off, it is also like a formality. Espion having prior engagements outside of Rocket League.
Sure, yeah.
Which is the reason why he did initially step down. It's not like he was like kicked for Chrome.
Right.
So he's a fantastic player in his own right. He's very, very aggressive, a great striker type of player. And when we initially started playing together, me and him almost butt heads a little bit because I'd like to play a little bit more forward as well, and so would he. And he actually seemed to have a pretty good balance after some time. And on take 3, I just didn't see him develop that same balance where he's like, okay, I know where I need to be with this roster. I felt that he was just a little bit confused as a whole. Maybe the roles between the players weren't as defined, or the rotation hadn't been ironed out. Just a matter of, I think they needed another season together before we saw any great results.
Thoughts about these two play styles clashing? I know Muffin Men's being a team that is known for being aggressive and powerful, and then we see also on the Hollywood Hammers, DreamHack, a player that is known for his wide rotations, a player who loves to keep a very kind of wide open. There's always somebody in the back on the teams that DreamHack plays on. Thoughts about these two teams going up against each other and leading into predictions then? How do you think who do you think is going to win?
Right, I think that Muffin Men are easily the favorites in this match. I think it's a close match. It's a best of 3, so anything can happen. But with that being said, most people you'd ask, in my opinion, would be betting on the Muffin Men here just because of the fact that Squishy Muffins and Torment, like the two of these guys combined, I mentioned earlier, they didn't have the best LCS performance, but they've stuck together through that entire season, which is something that you don't see very often.
Yeah.
These guys have worked together through a lot of problems and are a great team.
All right, I got Squishy Muffin's vote here from Quinn. What about you, Achieves?
Yeah, definitely the Muffin Men as well. Torment, absolute assist monster back at the X Games, even on something that wasn't his own roster. So, and him and Squishy a dominating offensive force. I mean, the Hammers look good. DreamHack and Vince have sort of that same dynamic. I just don't think it's quite to the same level.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go with the Hollywood Hammers here because previous track history of the Muffin Men is when it really counts is not great.
When?
RLCS Season 3.
Yeah, the qualifiers.
Yeah, but that's with a different roster.
I mean, you still have 2 of the same players, though.
Right, but I mean, also sticking together through a whole. Okay.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
There's ground to stand on, but either way, we'll have to see how it plays out on the pitch. Another best of 3 could go either way. Will we see our first best of 3? And Torment says yes. Yes, it can. It's going to go our way.
All right, Torment going to strike first off of the bat here, coming off of his brilliant X Games performance. And Torment on the side of the Muffin Men has LAN experience, while DreamHack on the side of the Hollywood Hammers also has LAN experience in Season 2 in Amsterdam with Take 3. So each one of these squads probably looking towards those guys to calm a little bit of the nerves down and say, like, oh, you know, play like you normally do. It's no different than playing at home. We got this.
We'll have to see how things play out. Well, it's a good start. You're the Muffin Man. You were, what, 4 seconds in or something like that, and you found the back of the net, and currently struggling to get out of their own half right now. Vince with a bit of a weak touch, and one to meet him there, and it will go right back into this blue corner. Chrome has a lot of space and a lot of time to work with. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite catch that ball perfectly on his nose to really take it out on an effective dribble, and there's an infield pass play, and Vince reads it beautifully and goes up to challenge it just in front of the net.
You know, there's actually a lot of players on the side of, nice angle there from Gimmick. Gimmick is not a mainstay name in Rocket League yet. But I do think that this guy is going to make a name for himself, especially with angles like that. He's been playing on and off with the Muffin Men for the last 6 months now. So it's only going to be a matter of time before he becomes a household name as well. And with that shot, proves it.
Yeah, he really picked up his as a starter since Latch stepped down from the Muffin Men originally, and he finds the back of the net once again, courtesy of Squishy Muffins.
Man, this is quite the performance from the Muffin Men. It seems that my original prediction here, Gimmick is going to be the X factor that they need. You know, the original roster was Torment, Squishy, and Latch, right? So now with the addition of Gimmick, this guy is 2 goals up in his very first LAN series. So kudos to him.
Looking quite strong, fires another one towards the net, and Chrome able to work his way out in front of it this time around. Not even 2 minutes into the game, and it's shot after shot after shot coming out of the Muffin Men so far. And Chrome on limited boost has to delay the touch, and it's just enough to get a Muffin Man out in front of that one to keep it from going downfield. Is this one towards the top of the net, far down, and Gimmick finishes it himself.
Man, Gimmick with a hat trick already. We were looking for Squishy Muffins to be the offensive threat here, but this guy, he is showing everybody.
Welcome to Atlanta, Gimmick.
Yes,
you're doing
welcome
well.
to Atlanta.
Let's see how things answer up for the Hammers. They have been absolutely knocked down and shut out here in game number 1. Squishy, a couple delayed touches, give it a few twists, make it look pretty.
This is ridiculous from the Muffin Man, and Squishy does squishy things as well. He's just going to shadow the ball right behind it, not actually trying to beat out the defender, but just trying to stay just close enough so that if any kind of block tries to come out, it's just going to be either thrown right back at them or off to the side. And the air dribble itself isn't trying to beat anybody. It's kind of playing defensive offense.
Yeah, and you saw a little bit of a wry smile after finding the back of the net that time around, and he's definitely feeling good. A shot finally on target over onto the Muffin Men's net, and Squishy has no problem turning that one away. We're only 2 minutes in, and it's 5
They already have 5
scored.
goals? This is
nuts.
ridiculous.
Easily on pace to put up 10 if the offense stays this locked in for the Muffin Men, as Squishy and Torment combine to clear this one upfield, and Gimmick unfortunately off the side wall coming up empty. As we approach the halfway point, out sideways, Squishy didn't quite have a lot of faith getting all the way through, perhaps gave up on that pass a little bit too early. So now we finally reach the halfway point, and the Hammers are at least starting to push out of their own half, which is a big stepping point, you could say, at this point.
There's actually been 0 offense from the Hammers, and I don't even know if they have maybe but 1 shot onto net. As I see right there, Vince has at least 1, so I know that's true, but man, it has been the complete Muffin Men show so far.
For sure, and that is a credit to the offense they put up, and again, a brilliant save coming out of the Muffin Men. Torment this time responsible right in front of it. And slow and steady off the sidewall is Squishy Muffins, as finally Chrome has a couple of objections about that one, and they will throw it downfield. Another good, solid infield pass play, keeping it away from those blue defenders. So now Chrome, a couple of touches of his own, and Torment will sit on that one coming out of his own net. Shot on target, turned away by Gimmick, and the defense really not being tested too much for Muffin Man. The Hammers' attacks are not really passing plays so much as they are, hey, we have a chance at the net, let's try and get something, as Gimmick throws one off the back wall.
It actually brings such a smile to my face knowing that this Muffin Men roster has been due for so long, and they are finally getting the ability to perform in front of a live stage when it actually counts. My only thing that I want from this is for them to perform exactly like how they've been performing the last 6 months. I don't want them to come over here and flop and have a bad performance when we know we could have seen much better, and we are seeing them as they are known.
He's certainly one of the top quote-unquote dark horse teams that we picked at the start of the day, and right now they're doing a nice job of keeping things over onto the Hammers' half of the pitch, and finally a wide open net, and Chrome will get them on the board.
As my friend Jorby would say, that is a feel-good goal.
A feel-good goal.
As it really doesn't have any impact to the game, but going into the next one, you're like, okay, well, at least it's not impossible, right? As we see, Chrome on the screen there, gets the first goal and a nice angle as well. You're not looking at the net, and you still have to get it towards the goal from the opposite angle. So nice job there. 45 seconds remaining. I do not think the Hollywood Hammers are getting back into this game, but every game's a new one.
I mean, after the halfway point, the offense really slowed down for the Muffin Men. They put in 5 goals before we even hit the 2-minute mark, and since then been held scoreless. So definitely a good sign moving into game number 2 for the Hammers. And I have to wonder if it's just damage control, as Squishy almost able to find the touch with the back wheels, kind of gets in front of a ball unintentionally. It will find its way towards that orange net, and Torment able to sky up there and tap it just out of reach.
Actually, the Muffin Men, I think, are actually performing the most similar to how they would perform online of any of the teams we've seen today, at least in my opinion. The amount of offense they were able to put up in the first 2 minutes completely won them this game. They didn't have to do anything else for the rest of the game. Only conceded 1 goal off of the redirect from Chrome, and they are looking so strong and making me eat my words.
Yeah, that's the
most
really
important part,
selling
right.
factor, right? They made you yours.
Proving me wrong.
What a solid showing on offense, especially out of Gimmick. Had the 3 goals in the middle of that game, gave him a hat trick. Squishy Muffins getting involved in 4 out of their 5 goals as well. So he's doing a brilliant job. Torment, 1 shot to open up 1 goal, I should say, to open up the game. And then, of course, the assist immediately afterwards. But after that, really didn't have to do too much. Hung out on defense, made some nice saves. But the important stepping stone for the Hammers is that after they got to that 3-minute mark, the offense sort of dried up. You have to wonder if that's because the Muffin men took the foot off the gas or if the Hammers decided to lock down on defense. But it's a good sign that they really didn't put any more in after that point.
Knowing the level of play that the Hammers are actually capable of, I have to say that it was just them catching up to the Muffin men finally. They came racing out of the gate. Absolutely pedal to the metal, foot on the gas, just boom, 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 5 shots in a row. Once we got into the game after the onslaught of goals, only 5 goals, they were able to hold them off for the rest of the game. So maybe they can carry that kind of defensive mentality into the next one, because I know they can hold them much closer. They've done it in the past.
I wonder what the key to success is. Is it challenging out of the midfield, or is it just getting those clears where you need them? We'll have to find out as we kick off game number 2, the 3-2-1 go. And Zane Jackie in command off of this one. Doesn't have the boost behind it. One of the drawbacks of going for the kickoff is you usually wind up with limited boost, and it's tough to follow through like that. But they start things off well on the correct side of the pitch for them, and it's a good start here to game number 2 for the Hammers.
Already seeing members of the Hammers. We just saw Vince in that last frame going for a demolition attempt. There was actually none of that in the last game. Not that they really even had a chance to get downfield, but them going for demolitions like that makes me feel like they're going to be playing a lot more similar to what we know them to be playing as.
Gimmick on the dribble, able to pop it high, cuts back around, makes it tough to go into the net, and unfortunately Torment shot directly at Chrome, and he has no problem keeping that one out of the net. So we're just about a minute in. Torment takes a bit of an odd hop. Squishy maybe inching a little bit too close, went to the far side of the net. And Chrome will again make another save here as the Muffin men start to turn the offense back on. Pass play down off that top corner. Tough read for the Muffin men on defense, and thankfully the shot a little bit off target, and they have time to reset themselves here out in front of their own net.
That was a very wasted shooting opportunity for the Hammers. It actually got by the defense, a very rare aspect coming from out of the Muffin men, and they skied it off of the backboard. So that may have been their best chance they've had this game so far.
Pass out towards the right side of the field. Squishy Muffins circling patiently. It's a nice hop out to the midfield. There's one to follow through just wide. Goes for the infield pass.
What a
play.
pass.
1 and 2.
Oh, it's not in.
And out. Torment denied by the crossbar. It's the real MVP.
God, absolutely robbed was Torment from the crossbar. That was such a good pass into the middle, and Torment placed it off of the crossbar and it's down, and then it was out. Oh man, that's got to feel so bad. But Hollywood Hammers with a chance still.
Zane Jackie actually had a nice little touch coming out of the Hollywood Hammers. Juked out a member of the Muffin men, got him down on the right side of the pitch. A little bit of time to regroup. Gimmick has a lot of the net to pick from, and Chrome just able to get the bumper on it. As we move into the halfway point now, and it's a tight one here in game number 2. Certainly a step up on defense for the Hammers as opposed to the first couple of minutes from game number 1. But overall, the Muffin men still really driving the pace of play, I feel.
Man, I didn't really see any kind of passing from the Muffin men in the first game as they were just constantly laying on the shots. But I'm really impressed with their soft touches towards the midfield. That one pass from Squishy, I'm still thinking about, the vision he must have had. He had no idea that Torment was behind him. It must have been a call or just intuition, and that is what we know the Muffin men for. Absolutely incredible offense.
Squishy, nice challenge, gets it off the back wall, but not quite out of reach. Chrome, aggressive challenge out of the net. Again, a far post shot, and Vince able to tap this one away. So we're deadlocked at zeros over the halfway point. However, the Hammers have stood tall on defense here in game number 2. It feels like we've been on this blue half for the past 2.5 minutes or so. They just cannot get anything through this brick wall of a defense, but the problem is the Hammers also can't clear the ball, really. We see them move over to the orange half, and finally that touch right there really will give them their first solid chance here at offense.
And so much of a better performance already coming out from the Hollywood Hammers. I think when they play from behind, they're playing a lot more scared, and now they're really trying to challenge the Muffin men, but Squishy almost getting a solo play past everybody. Man, this clock has gone down pretty fast. Ooh, a missed read there from Gimmick. That should have been put at least onto target.
Pass out to midfield once again, courtesy of Squishy Muffins. Unfortunately off target. Zane Jackie doesn't have too much boost to work with. Does get a nice lined up pass right at Vincent. It's dead center of the net.
Man, I like that from Chrome there, actually getting everybody involved in the fist bump. I really don't like that challenge there from the player from the Muffin Man. It's so obvious that he's trying to push that out from the way he positioned his car out to the middle, and he challenged it head on. And nobody was back on the rotation as well. They were off getting the corner boost. So defensive mistake from the Muffin Man.
Oh man, Squishy just wide. And too committed now for the Hammers on defense as they bomb a long one downfield. And sometimes it's your only option when you get a double commit like that. You just have to buy a little time for everyone to reset.
Close.
Vince, a clutch save, rightfully credited the epic save medal in the top right. They will have a chance to hang on, and we might see our first game 3 as this one goes towards the net. Vince can only stall. There's a follow-through from Squishy, also off the back wall. Torment gets turned away as well, and what do you have to do to score if you wear an orange car?
Man, near chances all around for the Muffin Man, and 2 really clutch saves coming in the final 30 seconds of this match. Torment has already missed once before in this game by inches, and he's still continuing to get robbed. Double touch.
Right in.
Nice.
Torment catches it off the back wall. They equalize.
Torment is finally able to find the back of the net, and in style as well, catching it softly off the top of his car and getting the double touch as well. That was a spectacular performance from Torment. I like that he was not getting frustrated that he wasn't scoring and played that one very, very intelligently off the wall.
Delicate touch will do as we move towards overtime. It would be our second overtime of the day, and Chrome has a pass, and it goes just wide. Vince would love to have that shot back. And the Muffin Men will get a chance to take it in regulation towards the open net. It's a dive, can't reach it. 1 second left. They've got a dream, but what a shot from Vince.
I cannot believe this went through. The defense from Muffin Men, he must have been out of, Torment was surely out of boost, or he would have had that. There is no reason that ball should go through if Torment has boost. 2-1 with 1 second left. The Hollywood Hammers are on the verge of forcing the first game 3 that we've seen all tournament.
Well, they got the kickoff to go the right way. It went up, and this one's going to be a chance for the wrong team. It's now Vince. Nice back pass. Well, possession-based play down into the corner. No one can reach it. The Hammers take game 2. What a show.
Although you normally wouldn't want to play it into your own half, he hit it so hard into his own half that it forced the ball to hit the ground before anybody had a chance to get to it. That was actually genius. It almost didn't work out for him as they were rushing. It was very, very close to not working out, but the idea was executed very, very well. And game number 3, the first one we've seen all day, and we see, a little bit of a disbelief on the side of the Muffin Men, or they're kind of kicking themselves for getting that one away from them. So many near chances.
Yeah, really only 1 or 2 chances that I can think of that really should have found the back of the net, but otherwise a strong defensive showing from the Hammers. The crossbar didn't do the Muffin Men any favors, and sometimes the placement just off enough, and plenty of saves to go around over on the Hammer side of things. So they are able to edge out a victory here in game number 2. Our first game number 3 of the DreamHack Atlanta Summer LAN here. We shall have to see how it plays out, but Torment and Squishy and Gimmick, the only 2 involved in that game number 2 for them. The 22nd goal from Torment and Squishy. Gimmick, almost nothing to do with them.
Yeah, relatively quiet performance from the guy that scored 3 or 4 goals in the first game. And so it obviously shows that they need to have Gimmick in the offense if they want to have a chance.
Put the goals in the net, win the game, and game number 3 in progress now as we go to one of my favorite maps, Utopia Coliseum, and a hard touch off the back wall. Gimmick comes up empty, and it's dangerous now. It does recover nicely. We get a chance to move back down. Zane Jackie turned away by Torment. Some early game ping pong here out in the midfield as Gimmick will throw this one all the way downfield and let everybody reset.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the defense from the Hammers is going to hold out right here. They were able to hold the Muffin Men scoreless for the first 4 minutes
minutes
of that last game, and it only wasn't until the last 20 seconds that Torment was able to break through. And we see another shot going in net. Beautiful save from Torment, and another one recovers off of the wall and saves it once more.
Oh, but you can't stop the third one. Chrome finds the back of the net.
There's only so much you can do on defense as Torment gets 2 really clutch saves, but he's stretching and out of boost, and his teammates are not there to help him out as well. Smiles from the side of Zane Jackie as well. The Hollywood Hammers are up 1-0 in game number 3 against the Muffin Men.
Well, you may get your wish yet, as your prediction was indeed the Hammers. The rest of us opted for the Muffin Men. However, the Muffin Men in game 2 definitely holding a lot of offensive sway, just unable to find the back of the net, and that's an awkward clear chance for Chrome, tapped away by Gimmick off the back wall. Solid pressure applied by Zane Jackie, but the follow-through's not going to be there. And the Muffin Men have a chance to clear. Just over 1 minute into game number 3, our first game 3 of the day. Squishy, not sure if you made contact with that ball. Torment credited with the center, so no. It's this one towards the net and well out. Vince on a dribble, wants 2, goes right through a defender. Back walled, kept out by Gimmick. Follow through from Chrome, also wide, and Torment now in charge. Squishy has a breakaway, just has to catch it, can't get around it quick enough. That's a great infield pass. It's a stretch, and he can't reach it.
Man, the net was completely uncontested there, but he was racing downfield with no boost in his tank. Opts to cut it really wide and try for his center, but it doesn't pan out for them. And that, again, the story has been wasted opportunities for the Muffin Men and clutch saves from the Hollywood Hammers. They're stealing away these saves.
Yeah, the shot right at Vince, just able to get the wheel on it. Follow through from Zane, skies highward. Now a long clear from Gimmick. Almost at halfway here in game 3. Shot towards the right side, can't reach it. Gimmick and Squishy link up.
This is where Gimmick needs to shine. Game 3, it's on the line. Squishy with the dump off up to the into the midfield, and Gimmick is going to score it. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes to OT and Gimmick is going to be the one to come out clutch for the Muffin Men.
We shall have to see. We are deadlocked at ones here. Game number 3, Zane, a nice challenge out of the midfield. Gimmick has a long way to go, and now he finds himself on the wrong side of the pitch with no boost. The second center coming through, and wisely, a patient Squishy Muffin's back on his own half. Doesn't overcommit, trying to do too much on the offensive side of things. He's got a little bit of space to work with, and of course, as I say that, Vince comes from off screen and throws it right back into the Muffin Men half. Pass upfield, 1-2, Justin, what a shot.
That is routine work from Squishy. Whereas that redirect would be normally a little bit challenging for other players, I bet he's taken that shot 10,000 times, honestly. With the amount of hours that this guy puts into the game to be so good, that is as routine as a sitter. Yeah.
It's so easy at this point for Squishy Muffins. As Zane Jackie towards that orange half. Actually gets a decent center, but nobody there really expecting that to come through. And this one's actually on target. Chrome yields to Vince out of the corner. A nice high touch. Chrome has no boost, has to dodge a demo. He's basically a sitting duck here in the net, and very thankful that he had some help from his teammates to get that one out of danger. Zane Jackie to Vince. It's a great pass, and what a save. Torment just able to get in front of this one. And that was a rocket from half field.
I think the role that Torment plays on this team is being the defensive stone that they usually need so that Gimmick and Squishy can push upfield and create offense. And he already has a savior medal on this game, creating. He's already had, like 3 spectacular saves in this game thus far, 2 coming in the same defensive push.
Ooh, a chance for Gimmick to secure the game. Torment follow through. It's a slow roller, but that'll do it.
Smiles on the side of the Muffin Men as they know this game is pretty close to being done, and Gimmick really should be scoring that ball, but it does go in eventually. And the Muffin Men sitting with a 3-1 lead. Can the Hollywood Hammers bounce back after this? They've already shown once they're down in the game, it's going to be challenging to come back.
Well, they've got a fair bit of work to do, and again, we see the down by 2, about a minute left, and we'll have to see what the offense cooks up from the blue squad. There's a long clear downfield. Vince is there once again to shut things down, but unfortunately thrown right back into the mix, courtesy of Squishy Muffins. Gimmick going to rotate all the way back by a little time. A nice bump there from Vince, actually takes Gimmick well out of the play, and it's only a one-on-one, but Squishy, the only one in the net, has no problem keeping it clear.
Yeah, final 1 minute must be drawing on the mind.
What a save
man,
from
right
Squishy.
into him, and the save as well. That's actually going to be pinched right back up to the other side.
You're kidding.
I think if you looked up feels bad, man, in the dictionary, you would get that exact play right here.
I mean, Torment and Squishy for once, in the right place at the right time, comes with a crazy save, goes right at Torment, goes all the way down the pitch. What can you do?
I think that is going to be the nail in the coffin for the Hammers, even though they have 49 seconds left in this match. 3-goal deficit, and the quality of goal that just happened there. Nobody's got, and another one. Another one.
Right. The offense has come back to life, and we saw Squishy find a redirect earlier. Gimmick sets up Torment. My mistake.
All right, that's it. Game is done.
Nice shot.
All they have to do is, walk it home, and it should be good. It's pretty rare. I think the largest margin that I've seen squandered in a time limit recently would be
maybe 3.
I think 3 goals in a minute and a half. Sounds about right.
Yeah,
and this was 4 goals in 30 seconds, so it's going to be really tough, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
And we definitely had a little bit of flair all throughout the series from Squishy Muffins with a couple of delayed touches and some spins. Chrome saying they're not quite done. They've got some work to do, but they want to start.
I'm still not convinced, even though Chrome with a very nice pass out. I'm sorry, that was DreamHack with the pass over to Chrome in the seam. Where was that the entire game?
I mean, they had really good shots on net, but some brilliant saves all throughout the Muffin men. The defense holding tall this time around. Is this one also on target? Actually, my mistake, just wide. As Zane once more turned away, courtesy of Squishy. And Torment 5 shots and plenty of stats for all of these guys on the Muffin men. They should have generated plenty of score, and they will walk away the victors of our first Game 3 here of DreamHack Atlanta.
Kudos to them. They showed up on the stage, and when it mattered, I actually rooted against the Muffin men, so maybe I'm a believer now with their LAN performance. Their first game was absolutely spectacular. 6-1 victory over the Hollywood Hammers, and this one as well in the final, minute, they were able to put up, 5-2 margin?
5-2 margin and 5-1 in game 1, so yeah.
So, I mean, they absolutely showed up, so I'm going forward. They might be one of the contenders. I think that actually Muffin men have played on stage probably the best team I've seen play so far.
Yeah, that is certainly the strongest offensive performance overall that we've seen from a team all day. But let's go ahead. We've got Quinn and Wavepunk on the desk. What did you guys think?
Quinn, we finally got a Game 3, and it came here with Hollywood Hammers versus the Muffin Men. I am so excited. We got to see that Game 3. Can we take on that? Congratulations on the Game 3, my friend. I can't believe it. Like they said over there, the Muffin Men, the most confident and beautiful offense we've seen so far, putting up monstrous goals.
I don't want to say Fickle, I told you so, but Fickle,
I told you so. In Fickle's defense, they did take game number 2. We saw Hollywood Hammers putting up the best series we've seen so far, and it came at the last second goal there in game 2. And we had literally moved back, sat down, like, all right, we're ready, and then they scored. You literally were like, nope, you put the headset back down, and you just left. You're like, okay, cool, we're going to game 3, I guess.
I mean, that was really just awesome to see them be able to take it to a Game 3. It brought up a lot of excitement, especially our first Game 3. Mm-hmm. It was hype, and I think Hollywood Hammers showed that even though Muffin Men are absolutely incredible, Hollywood Hammers are a real deal too. Seeing Chrome come into that team and step Espeon, that was, I'd say, perform admirably.
Yeah, Hollywood Hammers showing why Lethamyr considers them the team to be watching out for right now. Lawler, what did you think of the match?
I was going to say exactly that. Lethamyr mentioned them earlier in the day saying, this is a team that might catch us off guard, even though it's a team that we've seen time and time again. They've been kind of forgot about. Take 3's been a little bit quiet. For those that don't know Hollywood Hammers before, they got their pickup, but they were a team that's just been kind of brushed aside. They were in that 5th, 6th kind of position in the RLCS, and haven't really had that resurgence ever since the Season 2 LAN where Rizzo was originally on the squad. So for them to come and step up against a team that's kind of a fan favorite, and you heard it by the crowd for sure. Muffin Men falling just short. We talked about that a lot earlier. So yeah, I mean, Hollywood Hammers played well. It's just Muffin Men did it better. In all reality, those pass plays from Hollywood Hammers too. DreamHack had that really unselfish play where he passed it back over to Chrome and shot it. Really, really unselfish play. Takes a lot of just awareness of where your teammate is, and that's something that's okay, you watch Muffin Men, they just do it better and in the air.
And this is what makes them so deadly, is they're able of making the pass. We saw Hollywood Hammers making good pass plays. We also saw the Muffin Men making fantastic pass plays and able to put together these solo plays. Torment's solo goal where he's hovering above the goal to drop it straight in. I think that was about the loudest I've heard the crowd all day. Yeah. They loved that goal.
That was an incredible goal.
Speaking of Torment, how are you doing, friend?
Doing really good. especially after that win. Feel
Yeah,
good.
you guys came out with a solid performance game 1. Talk to me about game 2. Very, very different score line, as that one was 1-1 throughout most of the game, and then they scored the last second goal to give them the win. What was different about game 2 versus games 1 and 3?
We weren't really connecting our hits as well. We were kind of giving them the ball too much, and both of their goals were kind of just those open goals. Kind of missed some rotations, and that's pretty much it. We kind of fixed that between games 2 and 3. And played a lot better. Able
to come through and get the win here on this first match of your performance on the stage. And talk to me about being on the Muffin Men. Like, how have you enjoyed this roster?
I think we've improved a lot. We're definitely getting better at, like I said, connecting hits, generating offense. And I think we've been performing pretty good. We've been doing good in some online tourneys. Obviously, it's kind of like questionable going into our first LAN, especially together. It's like my third LAN, but their first LANs for both of them. So. But I feel pretty good. Feel pretty good about it.
Squishy. Sorry, Squishy. Torment.
It's Torment.
I was thinking of Squishy. I was going to say, teaming with Squishy and with Lichinio as well in the past RLCS season and not having the greatest performance. And then we see here you have Gimmick. It's a new roster. But in that game 3, you went down in the first goal. Was that like a little scary moment for you, like flashbacks to RLCS or anything?
It was a little scary, I'm not going to lie. But we had a lot of time, obviously, and we know what we can do. So in moments like that, we just kind of got to compose ourselves, and we usually do pretty well.
How have you, so this is your first LAN setting, you said?
It's their first LAN. It's kind of my third. I went to a PAX event, which was kind of small, and then
it counts.
You won Tuster one, right?
Yeah, me and Tuster. I won PAX East.
Yeah, we have a PAX champion in our midst.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very true.
Now, Quinn mentioned a little bit about playing with, obviously, Lichinio and stuff. Let's take that... even before that, obviously, you played in RLCS multiple times, and you guys were with, I think it was Darkfire, yeah.
Darkfire,
you guys were, like, inseparable. Tell us the difference between playing with him and now playing with your new roster.
Well, with Dark, I was kind of like the setup guy. Our connection with me and Dark was similar to me and Squishy. It was like I would usually be the one assisting, or if not, I would like be a cleanup, and that's usually kind of how it goes, my role in general with most players. And it's just kind of how it is. I mean, usually the other person gets all the limelight, but it doesn't really matter as long as it gets the job done.
I mean, you've definitely taken more of like a defensive role for this team too. What's it like adapting into that, even though you were like normally a setup guy?
Yeah, I mean, I was defensive when it was when we were on Iris, and it's kind of just getting used to the players. Obviously, Gimmick and Lichinio are a lot different, but I think I've adapted well. Usually, I can fit a role. We scrim a lot and do a lot of tourneys, and usually it turns out well.
For sure.
I'd agree. You've adapted very well.
Yeah, a bit tangential, but I just want to ask, in the X Games, you guys knocked out Flipside when you were playing with the Selfless boys. How did it feel to knock out Flipside in that scenario?
It felt pretty crazy, especially since the day before that, that was actually a rematch of the day before where they pretty much stomped us. I think we just had a lot better rotations. Miho actually had the series of his life that series.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dapper really good as well too, and I just kind of fit the role like I always do. So it kind of clicked.
Fantastic. Well, you guys are going to be moving forward here. It's got to feel good for the Muffin Men knowing that you're going to be able to get forward. Is there any shout-outs you got before I let you go?
I guess shout out to my parents because they're super supportive of this. Also, shout out to my teammates. Their first LAN, but I know they're going to do really good. They're really good players. Obviously, I wouldn't come in here without
for sure
knowing they're good players. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fantastic. I think we are like 6 for 6 on players calling out their parents today. So good way to keep the trend going.
Nothing but love for our
good
parents
stuff,
out here.
Thanks so much for talking to us, Torment. Good luck in the rest of the tournament, bud.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff there. Guys, we have one more match in store for you today. G2 is in the house, and they will be going up against Genesis. The winner of that match will qualify for the round of 16. The loser will have to face off against Cerberus Esports one more time to make sure that they make it through. But we will have that and more when we come back. It's going to be great. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.